What is up, my beautiful people? This is your host again, X Limitless, coming right back at you with another episode of Limitless Talk. You already know how we do. This is that show where we talk about politics, economics, and propaganda. So, without further ado, let's get right to it. Bank of England is still telling us that inflation is sitting at 5.5%, but currently they've raised rate by 0.25%. So the base rate is now sitting at 0.5%, but we know they're keeping it that low just because they don't want to drop the market just yet. And it's just the game they're playing right now. And unfortunately, we all have to play with them and basically see where this goes. You understand what I'm saying? So, moving on. We've got the Federal Reserve Bank of the United States still dumping money into the debt market. So, nothing new. They're still doing the same thing they're doing. So, again, we're keeping an eye out on everything and just waiting on how all of this is going to play out. So, moving on, having a look at the market, we can see the dollar is up. Guys, I just got a puppy and she's humping one of her toys. This is just hilarious. But anyways, we can see the dollar index is up, which shows us that basically the stock market was sold off. However, we can tell this is a fair trade because the yields, if you look at the yields, they're not significantly up. I mean, they are slightly up, but not significantly, which shows that this is a fair trade. It's nothing major, and this has to do with the whole geopolitical tension between Eastern Europe and Western Europe and America. So we're gonna keep an eye on that how and see how all of that play off. And the puppy just dropped off the bed. It's interesting. Anyways, so guys, please, if you hear some noise, that's the puppy. Just she's playing so rough right now. It's insane. Anyways, moving on to some current news. We've got 4% of crypto whales are criminals and they hold 25 billion amongst themselves. Chain analysis report. The report defines criminal whales as private wallets that hold more than 1 million worth of crypto, with more than 10% of their balances coming from illicit addresses. Guys, we know the biggest drug dealers, gun running, gun dealing, money laundering son of a guns are the banks. They're the government. If you've seen the show Ozark, that show is more or less a documentary. And there's countless of shows like that that illustrate how government and the criminal world all come together and work to make money. It's all about money, guys. Nothing else. It's all about money. Just because it's illegal doesn't mean it's right, and just because it's right doesn't uh, mean it will be legal. So we need to understand those principles there. Next, we've got how does Ethereum staking work. Now, this uh, article went into how Ethereum will be switching to proof of stake from proof of work. And one thing we know is a lot of these coins that are, energy gobblers, they will basically not make it. They 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 just they just won't make it at all. Guys, I'm just laughing. This dog is humping everything around. So they're just gonna be they're going to be energy uh inefficient. So meaning they're not gonna be compatible for the fourth industrial revolution, and for that reason, they won't make it. So why is Ethereum making the switch? Because Ethereum is part of the blockchain. Ethereum is like a supercomputer that's gonna run a lot of the infrastructure, for the robots, algorithm, drones, and all that. So it makes sense for them to make a switch. But is this something they just worked on or will be working on? No. In my opinion, it's been ready. And as a matter of fact, I think they've had it right from the beginning. You understand what I'm saying? The same way Bitcoin was supposed to scale and be efficient and stuff like that, and they stopped it. So all this other, blockchain can come along and stuff like that. It's the same thing they're doing. If you've ever heard of that phrase, never put all your eggs in one basket. You know, it's exactly what they're doing. Rather than make a system that's good the first time and cost efficient and stuff like that, they're like, nah, we need to make money off of these people because they don't even know what's going on. So we're gonna make this money. So moving on, we've got Credit Suisse hides mobsters, drug traffickers, and money launderers' riches. Leak review. Guys, what did we mention in the beginning? The banks are the biggest drug dealers, gun running, money laundering son of a guns. And if you think any less, then you don't understand how the world works. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why this show is here. So we understand how the world works. Now, what's gonna happen to these guys? They're gonna get a slap on the wrist, and then that's it. If the banks are working with the drug traffickers, you best believe the government is working with the drug traffickers because these guys should be regulated by the government, should be controlled by the government. The government set up by the people. But guess what? No, they're not. No, they're not. Everything is done behind closed doors. So, anyways, guys, let's take a quick break and come right back to the rest of the information we've got for today. Welcome back, everyone. This is your host again, Limitless. Please share with your friends, family, and loved ones because we all need to understand how the world freaking work. So moving on, we've got SEC chair hints at no spot Bitcoin ETFs yet, but cites careful consideration for the future. Gary Gensler reiterated his stance of being technology neutral but will carefully consider concerns raised by Congress persons. Guys, we know they're just kicking the regulatory requirement down the road. They're not ready to give up the casino. The casino is so huge right now. You think of how much, scams is going on, how much funds is being lost, nobody's getting reimbursed. Guys, don't play yourself. These people are stealing with no repercussion. And we need to understand that. But when regulation comes, just like the current banking system, if your account if they lose your money, they have to reimburse you. Yes, it's the same thing. So when regulation comes, when these guys lose your money, they'll have to reimburse you. So moving on, we've got FBI forms new crypto crime unit as District of Justice names enforcement team director. The new unit will focus on cryptocurrency and related matters, while the National Cryptocurrency Enforcement Team finds its leader. So, this team is coming together because soon we're going to start seeing this entire space completely shrink. You understand what I'm saying? They will start cracking down on all these fraudulent activities and all the illicit money flowing right, left, and center. And we know it's a lot of the things happening is not by accident; it's by design. So them forming this team is not only to crack down on those illegal activities, but also at the same time they will use it to shrink down the crypto list because they will start banning a lot of these companies and start telling them to shut down because hey, you can't operate. It's just what it is. Now, moving on to a bit of lobbying and political news. We've got UK's leading fintech bosses call on government to ramp up efforts to overhaul regulations. Now, we can't stress this enough. The people should be the one telling the government on how to regulate, how to control these corporations. Because make no mistake, a lot of the things going on is it's all corporate agenda. Or stop. It's all corporate agenda. Sorry about that, guys. So when we leave the policy making to the people that have interest in these policies, right, and the government, we have interest in it too, but we have first right interest. They have second right interest. So we should be the one taking the lead, not them. You understand what I'm saying? And as we can see, the corporations always take the lead. And what happens? We get regulatory clarities that favor, the corporations. It's nothing new, and it's happening again right in front of our eyes. You understand what I'm saying? Moving on, we've got JP Morgan under fire for dubious 1.3 billion naira oil deal. So, a bitter legal dispute between the Nigerian state and the banking giant JP Morgan is due to be heard in the UK's High Court this week. JP Morgan is being sued by the Nigerian government over allegations it negligently allowed corrupt officials to pilfer more than three quarter of a 1.3 billion oil investment. The Telegraph first reported, guys, we know fraudulent and illicit funds and all sort. This is not the first time this is happening. They all work amongst each other to do these things. And if we all understand one thing, the right question to be asking is, why is this even something being done on on the back, you know, in the back of the room, in the closed door? Why 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 is it that officials are given the opportunity to be even corrupt in the first place? Things needs to be done openly, decently, and in order. But again, we need to get involved. We just need to get involved. There's no two ways about it. But let's keep an eye on this one, and let's see how these charges end. Because as we know, nothing ever happens. And one thing we know about Western government is they're not gonna return that fund. They're still holding on to billions and billions and billions of stolen funds, because that's what's going on here. It's stolen money. A lot of the Western countries, they prop up their economy with stolen money. That's what they do. It's nothing new at all. They prop up the economy with stolen money. So it's nothing new. Moving on. The energy transition is sparking America's next mining boom. Can critical minerals be secured without wrecking the environment and sacred tribal lands? Of course, they're gonna wreck environment. Is that a trick question? You see what I'm saying about this guy, these people, guys? Like they ask the dumbest, most stupidest questions, and this is the economist. Like they the same ones that will be talking about the green agenda, this agenda, that agenda, but yet they still want to keep on mining. They still want to keep on digging the ground for natural resources, like and minerals. Like they just figuring out that that's what we how we've been doing it, and the only way to do it. You understand what I'm saying? Of course, you gotta dig the ground, but you have to do it decently and in order. But one thing these guys have been doing, they've been doing it overboard excessively. I mean, the entire world right now, there's overproduction. Obviously, not anymore because they're cutting all that crap down. But if you look from the early industrial revolution, from the early 1900s, there's been over, production. We produce more than we need basically, and that's because someone wants to get rich. And then because we produce more than we need, they advertise for us to consume more than we need. Over consumerism and stuff like that. It's a barbaric way of living. And when you do things, you know, not when you don't do things decently and in order, you get the problem we have right now. And it will always be too late to rectify things when you don't do things when you don't lay the right foundation. And these guys, they don't lay the right foundation, and then it comes to a time whereby they know they've messed everything up, and then they want to bring in some bogus solution that they know is not going to work. Because why? They have not thought about it carefully. So they're asking this. The battery electric vehicles, they still need to dig the ground for cobalt to make these batteries. And then on top of that, they they still don't know how to dispose of the batteries. They can't recycle them yet. But hey, let's leave that to the experts, right? The people with the five PhDs, the doctorates. Moving on, we've got Cathy Wood says that innovation stocks are way undervalued and recent fund losses temporary. We know that, guys. We're waiting 5, 10, 15, 20 years. These stocks, they're for the fourth industrial revolution. The banks, the energy, the green energies, the financial technology companies, the electric car companies, the microchip company. Guys, we know what's going on. It's nothing new, and all we have to do is just close your eyes, invest, and just don't never look back. You understand what I'm saying? While your mates are receiving universal basic income, waiting 5, 10 years, wait, still working in 5, 10 years time, well into their 60s, you've already retired. You understand what I'm saying? You're chilling, you're caking. Next, we've got stablecoin provider Circle hits 9 billion valuation after new SPAC deal. The firm behind the second largest stablecoin, which is USDC, has just struck a new deal which now values the company at a whopping 9 billion. Now, guys, when you look out there, you will not see uh, a lot of information on USDT because USDT is fraud, allegedly, allegedly. You understand what I'm saying? There's not real development going on with USDC, and that's what they use to, facilitate a lot of these illegal activities. And the government knows, but they're choosing not to do anything about it. In my opinion, the United States coin is already here, the USDC. That's gonna be the US official coin. But a lot of people won't believe it, but let's just wait for it. It won't be the only coin, but it will be one of the main official coins, if not the top official coins. You understand what I'm saying? But time will tell. Next, we've got Spain Central Bank licenses Bit2Me to be country's first crypto service provider. So the exchange will be able to provide banks based in Spain with a white label service for crypto trading on their platform. We know they're about to tokenize this entire economy. Everything on the legacy system is all gonna be digitized, meaning all the paper shufflers are going. Guys, we can't stress this enough. It don't matter what you do. I don't care what you do. You make calculations for how you're an engineer that makes calculation for how long it takes a material to degrade. Uh uh your your house builder that does house planning. All there's 3D houses coming. Let me just put it that way. The robots, The algorithms, they'll do the calculations. The drones and the robots will go out and build it. Automation. Everything will be automated. Nothing new. Next, we've got Ether now supported by Twitter's tip feature. Now you can pay $90 to tip someone $5. Thank you, Twitter. The throwing shades at the transaction fee. That's funny though, isn't it? Ether is now supported by Twitter's tip features, the social network has announced. Now, this is just the beginning. There's all the social medias out there that you can think of will support this feature. And this is only the beginning. Moving on, we've got Man Group analyst says crypto is just a rate sensitive risk asset. Bitcoin has become more correlated with Nasdaq index and the ARK Innovation Exchange traded funds. Again, we know the crypto market is the same as is coupled with the stock market, meaning they're both getting debt money pumped into them to prop them up. And once money start rolling out of the debt market, that's when we'll see everything really, really fall apart. You understand what I'm saying? So for now, money is not rolling out of the debt market. Money is rolling into the debt market, as we can see here. 1.6 trillion. You know, it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. So next, we've got Russian government introduces crypto bill to parliament over central bank objections. The Ministry of Finance is pushing towards. All right, stop. The Ministry of Finance is pushing forward with cryptocurrency regulation in Russia. Crypto payments will still be prohibited. Guys, does that make sense? The government is moving forward with introducing crypto bill. The central bank is objecting, and they want to make it seem like the central bank has the final say. Guys, we know they don't. We tell them what to do, and they have to form a policy. All they have is money. They have exclusive rights on monetary policy. That's all they have. So essentially, we can't tell them how to do what we want them to do, but they have to do what we want them to do. Does that make sense? You get what I'm saying? And lastly, on the news side, oh, that's it. So, well, lastly, then, if we look at the crypto market, you can see it pretty much looks similar to the stock market. We've been trading in a range, and of course, those who are trading, they're loving the market. They're loving it because if you understand anything about the market, if you're a trader, you make money whether it goes up or down. It don't matter to you. As a matter of fact, traders love the volatility of the market. But hodlers, those are the guys, that look at their portfolio and be like, oh, it's gone down. But then you shouldn't even care either. You understand what I'm saying? That's why it's important we build our mind right. It's very, very important. So lastly here, we've got Backed coming up. We've got Bitcoin Backed coming up in 3 days and currently seeing at 39,995. And we've got Bitcoin Micro Futures as well coming up, which is on the CME exchange in 4 days, a day after Backed. So guys, pay attention. Wherever these two sit, the average, the Bitcoin, the underlying asset, which is Bitcoin, will be coming to match that. Currently $38,152, and here we're seeing at $38,150. You see, it's very, very closely matched. However, the market is always lagging a bit behind because this is more of a, how can I put it? It's more of a private club going on here. You understand what I'm saying? So, anyways, that's all I have for you today, guys. I appreciate you all listening in. Let's remember, don't allow fear trade to scare you out of the market. because this right here, this is just showing us that it's fair trade. The market, if you look at the debt market, money is still going in the debt market. When this start reducing, right? If they start reducing it on a month on a daily basis, that's when you should be scared because once it stops, nothing's propping up the market anymore. You understand what I'm saying? Nothing's propping up the market. As a matter of fact, let's let's look at the central bank's balance sheet. Uh, U.S. Federal Reserve balance sheet. Let's look at their balance sheet, and you see for yourself. These guys are still they're still pumping money into the market, and and they don't care. Look at it. They're still pumping money. Look at the 6 months. It's grown, 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 grown. Even though they said they're gonna taper right about here, you know. But what have they done since? It's gone up. And you know, based on the trend, it's unlikely that we've seen the last of them. So, guys, pay attention and let's make sure we know exactly what's going on. Peace, love, and light to every single one of you out there. Please share with your friends, family, and loved ones because we all need to know and understand how the world works. I'm your host, Limitless, and I'll catch you on another episode. Peace.